Well, good day, everyone. My name is Joe Lentini, and welcome to I Owe the IRS Now What? I am a managing partner at J&J Tax Resolutions Group. I'm an enrolled agent and also have several certifications in tax resolutions work, as well as accreditations in tax preparation and tax planning. Today, we're going to basically discuss what you would need to do should you owe the IRS money or if you currently do owe the IRS money. Here's our agenda for the day. Why do I owe? Now you owe taxes. Now what? What if I can't pay in full? And finally, do I do this alone? So here are some common reasons taxpayers owe the IRS. Many times people take money out of a retirement plan, didn't have taxes taken out properly. Another method would be selling investments such as real estate, stock at a gain, and then owing a large dollar amount to the Internal Revenue Service as a result of these transactions. Under withheld taxes from your salary. Just not taking enough taxes out will cause you to owe money at the end of the year. And finally, occasionally people will leave something off a tax return, not realizing they should have reported it. A common one would be cancellation of debt. People forget to report that on their income tax return and then in turn will owe money at the end of the year. So you owe the money, now what? If you can't pay in full, then what do you do? Well, if you pay it, you can pay online when you file your tax return via ACH. You can pay online through the IRS website. You can pay by check. And lastly, you can pay with a credit card online, but fees do apply, so we generally leave that as a last resort. But if it's your only option, we do recommend that you pay by credit card. Will I have to pay any penalties? Well, that depends on how much you owe when you file and pay your taxes. There's different types of penalties. There's a failure to pay penalty, which filed timely but owed money. Failure to file, you did not file timely and had a balance due. These will result in penalties issued to you by the Internal Revenue Service, generally with interest added on as well. So how much are these penalties? Well, a failure to pay penalty is a 0.5% of the unpaid taxes for the month or part of the month the tax remains unpaid. The penalty will not exceed 25% of your unpaid taxes. A failure to file penalty is 5% of the unpaid taxes for each month or part of the month that the tax return is late. The penalty won't exceed 25% of your unpaid taxes. Both the failure to file and failure to pay penalty are applied in the same month if the failure to file penalty is reduced by the amount of the failure to pay penalty for that month, a combined penalty of 5% for each month or part of a month that your return was late. So as you can see, these penalties can add up very quickly. So we try to avoid penalties by planning properly. Now that you owe taxes, what should we do? Well, stop and start dates for underpayment of interest. In general, they charge interest on underpayments starting on the due date of the amount you owe and will continue to accrue until the balance is paid in full. Taxes due when the return is filed. Extensions to file do not extend the date to pay taxes. Basically, if you file an extension, you must pay taxes with the extension. Penalty in addition to taxes, addition to the tax. Due dates vary by type. Failure to file, failure to pay, underestimated tax penalties by a corporation, underpayment of estimated tax by an individual, and dishonored check penalties are due on the date they send the notice and assess the penalty. Accuracy-related penalties are due on the return due date and extended due date if the extension of time is filed. Interest is due as it accrues. What if I can't pay in full? Apply for a payment plan, also called installment or online payment agreement, to pay off your balance over time. Fees may apply. If you can't afford to pay because of your financial condition, you can ask for a temporary delay in collection. This is called currently not collectible. If you owe for prior years, here are some things to consider. Do you qualify for an offer in compromise? Are you considered currently not collectible? Are you an innocent spouse? An offer in compromise is when the IRS will settle for less than you owe. This is the brass ring that everyone wants, but it's the hardest to obtain. This is what you hear on the radio or TV commercials, but these commercials are generally advertising schemes to get you to pay a large retainer. The offer in compromise is a valid way of paying off your tax debt, but requires lots of documentation, lots of paperwork, and will require a lot of time for the IRS to process. Are you considered currently not collectible? This is when the IRS realizes that they will not be able to collect from you. They place you in a status that will hold off collections for a period of time. Am I an innocent spouse? When the debt is due to a spouse's issues and you are truly unaware of the circumstances, very hard to achieve. You must prove that you had complete lack of knowledge of the debt and that the other spouse basically committed fraud. Do I do this alone? In most cases, this is not recommended. Would you go to court alone? If not, then why would you face the IRS alone? IRS agents are better trained and more knowledgeable than most taxpayers, and that will allow them to take advantage of the unknowing taxpayer. While hiring a professional is an expense, it will pay for itself in savings and in peace of mind. Once you hire a professional, generally you do not have to even deal with the IRS any longer. Your representative will now take charge and deal with the IRS and their phone calls and their communications. They will handle negotiating and talking to the IRS and then talk to you to see how to proceed. But it makes the most sense for you, for peace of mind, to let a professional handle the case for you. Additionally, the IRS agents have knowledge that you do not have. They will use that against you by explaining things and confusing you even more so. We've been doing this for many years, and unfortunately, we've seen people who have fallen into a larger issue due to the IRS's dealings with them. So, in doing this alone, not sure what to do? Well, you can contact us, J&J Tax Resolutions Group. We will happy to schedule a free 15-minute evaluation phone call with you. We can be reached at 516-821-8193 or by email at info@jjtaxgroup.com, or you can visit our website at www.jjtaxgroup.com. We will promise that we will be honest with you and explain everything relevant to your situation. If you hire us, we will do everything in our power to make sure that you get the best possible outcome that you can from your tax situation. We're wishing you the best, and hopefully you will be able to navigate your tax issues even if you do not hire us. But we hope to hear from you for your free consultation in order to make sure that your tax debts disappear without your sanity going with it. Take care and be well.